Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather This Morning.
Well, good morning. Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon on this crisp and cool Tuesday. Hopefully you are having a fantastic morning. We've had a few bugs here behind the scenes. Apparently the only bugs that are going to be out there because it's pretty chilly this morning. You've probably noticed a little bit of frost, maybe not quite as much as what we had yesterday. And we have a lot colder mornings from here. Looking ahead, more on that here in just a moment. But hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day out there on this Tuesday morning. And as you look hour by hour throughout the morning, we're going to still be about 30 degrees at 7 a.m., 46 by 10 a.m. We're 58 by 1. Somewhere in probably the low 60s for highs, around 2 to 3 o'clock. Yeah, that is a little above, okay, almost 10 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year, and it will not last because this is our warmest day looking over the next 7. In fact, we have one day where you can slice temperatures down into 30s for highs. So dramatically cooler temperatures are on the way. Outside, though, we are crisp and clear. Our camera up there in Alcorn County showing up again clear at this time as far as the eye can see. 28 degrees, that temperature. When you don't have that blanket of cloud cover, those temperatures drop. And again, appreciate the good folks at North Mississippi Storm Chasers for aligning with us on this camera network. Cleveland, a little more glow there toward the horizon. Old Glory there in the foreground. Kind of waving there and the little bit of a wind that we have. But yeah, a lot of color starting to show up. Still a little time before sunrise. What time we got there? Sunrise should be about 7:07. Yeah, so still have about 30 minutes. Looks like also have a spider web in the foreground there, kind of wobbling back and forth. That is there. And then 25 in Mabin. Chilly, chilly, chilly in a lot of spots this morning. So yes, you will have some frost when you head outside. Pretty good visibility out there. Only spots where we have a little bit of a dip up toward Tunica. And like we were talking about yesterday, maybe some very, very limited patches of fog along the Tombigbee River Valley there near the waterway this morning. We're 28 for that wind chill temperature in Amory. It is 28 in Tupelo. So, I mean, these are pretty close to the actual temperature, within a degree or so in most locations. Coming 35 right now, you see in Cleveland there, about 33 in Belzona, 33 Greenwood, and 30 for Kosciuszko, Louisville at this moment in time with our coldest spot. Looks like about 28 up there in Corinth, or we're actually 25 down in Houston. Mama Justice Doppler radar, no precipitation, and good morning to everyone who's joining us here at 6:34 a.m. Again, you can join the conversation, as you can see there. It kind of picks up with some of our conversation last night with Joel, and not with Joel, with Gabe. And then good morning to everybody as we're starting to get talking. But again, if you have questions and you'd just like to say hi, we'd love to hear from you there. A wider shot here again on our composite, continuing to show up here with high pressure in control. But we do still watch the storm system. They'll bring a little more moisture. Now this one back there toward Texas is kind of important because what it's going to do, just as you can see, has that general spin associated with it. And this whole thing is going to kind of head up this direction and sort of power our front up there. And I think the combination of those brings us our at least limited chances for a little bit of moisture as we head into and through tomorrow. But for today, we're still far enough ahead of that system. The majority of that cloud cover stays to our south and west, and the majority of the cold air to the north. So we're in this kind of transition day where we have primarily southerly winds associated with this. Generally speaking, we have winds around one of these high pressure centers in kind of a clockwise fashion. So this sort of is return flow, but it's not directly from the Gulf, and so we don't have a ton of moisture from it. All that to say, today is a day where we kind of avoid all the different pitfalls the week like this could have, which is we're milder because we have the sunshine. We're drier because we still have high pressure, and still waiting on the coldest air there. So things kind of working in our favor in all regards, and no precipitation out there to really stumble upon today. Though you do start to see a little bit more in the way of cloud cover with this that starts sliding in as we head 9:30, 10 o'clock into the evening as far as tonight is concerned there. So again, mostly dry conditions with, again, those chances for moisture starting to move in. Now tomorrow, we will have quite a few of those, and they will impact your morning commute, as you can see there. From 40 this morning on the next 24 to 55 by noon, 59 degrees by 3 p.m., and then probably low 50s to mid 40s later this evening. A lot milder than last night. That's some of that moisture, that's that additional cloud cover. Both those things insulate us. And we'll go from 45 at 9 p.m. to around 42 degrees by early tomorrow. Again, it will be showery, it will be cool, but it will be liquid falling from those showers and not anything more significant. Hey there, Caden, Elena, Marcellus. Nice to see y'all this morning here on Mississippi Live Weather. And if you come
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
You wonder how they're going to experience the real world in real safety, where all kids are welcome and everyone has a path forward to new skills, advancement, leadership, something they will carry with them the rest of their lives.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lovhawn.
Well, no question, we are not alone on the cool temperatures across the southeastern United States. You're watching Mississippi Live Weather. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lovhawn here in the Room to Room Weather Center, continuing to look at kind of a cool morning, not as cold as yesterday, but I'm just kind of checking temperatures around the region. You start looking at some of these we have here, upper 20s, lower 30s. That's pretty similar. And in some cases, yes, warmer than locations all the way down to the coast. So all things considered, things at least relatively mild out there for today. No severe weather risks. We had those last week, as you can see here, for today, for tomorrow, for Wednesday. We can even go beyond that there, looking toward Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So this week's forecast largely circles instead around cooler conditions and clear skies for the most part. I'll kind of bring things in here a little bit closer to us, and we'll check out a couple cameras as we say good morning to everyone who's tuning in with us this morning down in Noxubee County. Our camera there with the North Mississippi Storm Chasers looking clear. This one was the one we had a good shot of that frost yesterday. It looks like that field with a little bit of frost on it as well down there in Noxubee County, just near the Macon area. 28 degrees, that temperature here at our North Mississippi Storm Chaser Skycam location. Oxford, usually one of our cooler spots. Let's check and see. Coming in 32 though, milder. That's a nice change of pace. At this instant, those winds out of the south and east at about 5 miles per hour. And up in Tupelo, it looks as though we're going to continue to have, again, another kind of clear morning, kind of the golden glow there from the horizon. 28, feels like temperature at 25. We had just the littlest wind out there, just the littlest breeze. And so that makes a little bit of a difference. Our forecast for your school bus forecast today, 30 at pickup for that temperature. Drop-off temperature upper 50s. Listen, not super warm, but that is as warm as we get for a while going forward under these mostly clear skies. I do again appreciate the folks at IMPC for sponsoring our school bus and school day forecasts and getting those kids out the door again with maybe a little bit less in the way of layers than what we had yesterday. Still need them, obviously. 30 is not warm. As we go toward 9 a.m., we continue to have those southwest winds out there remaining maybe a little bit breezier than they were yesterday, but mostly clear skies remain the story. Again, as we talked about, high pressure down to the south of us, and typically we would expect to see, winds around one of these high pressure centers in kind of a clockwise fashion. That's what kind of works to power the warmer air that's kind of moving more our direction for the next day or so. And so that remains the trend again for today. But those rain chances back there towards Texas, a sign that we do again have some moisture that is moving toward us that will bring us at least a little bit of an impact for tomorrow. Honestly, it's kind of more the moisture coming from the front. But what you see when you look at both of these is very little in the way of even reds or honestly yellows. So this is all fairly light variety stuff as it gets closer to us, progressing into and remainder of today and into tonight. So high temperatures today going around 59 in Senatobia and Oxford, about 60 degrees Water Valley, Bruce, and Houston. Our normal this time of year coming in about 53, as you can see up there. So we're running, a little bit above that. And this is as warm as we get looking forward over the course of about the next at least 5-6 days or so. We'll show you that 7-day forecast in a minute. We are fairly warm, all things considered, and we'd likely continue to stay that way into this evening. As you can see there, yeah, Futurecast keeping us dry. I say warm, it's mild this evening. Warm's probably overdoing it, as we do have this front moving in. Now this, you know, here's the deal, and you can debate how this is. This is weather nerd stuff here. We kind of have two waves here, kind of the leading edge of like a sort of cooler, and then the much cooler air behind that here, where it's kind of positioning that. Ultimately, this band of rain you see up there towards Springfield, Missouri, that is our chance for moisture later on tonight. As you can see, by 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, make it the Memphis Olive Branch, and it will be at least partially through the area for your morning commute on your Wednesday. So yes, this does obviously mean that we are going to be likely fairly damp, if not super rainy, for Wednesday. It's certainly best chances of rainfall this work week. So 42 there, low temperature on Wednesday, 41 degrees in Grenada there, about 40 Bruce in Houston, and 39 degrees Amory, 36 in Hamilton, Alabama. Wind chill temperatures, milder than today, milder than they'll be any other day this week. Not a huge factor for your Wednesday. Let's talk timing here. Again, showers moving in. We're about 40, maybe you could argue 50. This is that what we showed you before the break there. He said maybe 60 to 70% on that rain coverage possible on this. Honestly, this is light stuff here for the most part as it transitions through. But we probably reach our peak coverage of that rainfall around midday, maybe mid-morning there on your Wednesday. Only a couple spots I even show a little bit of yellow. So again, this is not super duper heavy, and we expect it again might last for just a little while, few hours there, but most of it transitions through fairly quickly. Little pockets of showers, maybe a few of those a little heavier out there toward Arkansas for your Wednesday afternoon to evening, and those get a little heavier again briefly for around Greenville. But that's as close to rumbles we get. As we talked about a minute ago, no severe weather associated with this setup. We are going to stay free from that. And yes, that is blue on the map. If that is flakes, congratulations. That's not going to accumulate to anything. More on that here in just a second, because obviously social media does what social media does. I'll just go ahead and pop up that chat. We'll find out what people have to say about that here in just a second. I appreciate Elena there recognizing IMPC, and you can see IMPC and all of our different sponsors there in the corner on this chat that sponsor us through either commercials or different graphics, things of that nature. Support those people that support us here on Mississippi Live Weather. It's one of the ways in which we're able to keep doing this, as long as you do that, as well as liking and subscribing. And if you have questions, we try to answer those as well. We're available on all the different places, including Roku TV and Apple TV there. 52, as you can see, for that high temperature tomorrow. That's about as warm as we managed in Tupelo. 54 degrees in Starkville, 55 Kosciuszko, but a few spots near the Tennessee state line where we don't even crack the upper 40s. And the real cold air, that's what's coming on the way. Excuse me, that's what's coming on the way for your Thursday. It's going to be really chilly. So again, that first prefrontal trough has a little bit cooler air. One thing that we don't show that front on here, because you see how the front kind of jumps past this. Ultimately, that colder air sort of merges together, and as it does, as it translates toward the south and east and takes that kind of away from us, it obviously, we get the colder air that fully kind of flows in behind it here. So it is chilly Canadian air behind this, taking shape over for the central part of the United States, and that means us on those northerly winds progressing here through your Thursday, early morning there, and that means we're down for a really chilly beginning to early Thursday because of that wind chill factor. Temperatures are manageable, but the wind chill, that's the reason it feels extra cold out there. So looking at low temperatures for Thursday morning, yeah, I mean, like we mentioned, this is not warm. 28 there in Belzona, 26 degrees Greenwood, about 24 Grenada, 23 degrees Water Valley and Bruce, and that 23 there also up there for Red Bay, for Oxford and Holly Springs. Those are some of our coldest temperatures, obviously, Thursday morning. But here's the deal. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whew. The wind chills are going to be down into the low teens. So really cold to begin the first part of Thursday morning there. It is the temperature portion of this, the reason why, again, we're pairing up with folks there, Absolute Cleaning and Restoration. They are have gotten together some of these, little bags, so to speak. Not bags, but they have some insulation on them, so you can kind of stick that on top of your outdoor spigot to keep it from freezing. They have a rubber band, happens to be green, which I find fantastic. Maybe they put the green one in here just for me, so they could go clear there on Chroma Key. But yeah, put this over top of your faucet. It'll protect it there. We have a lot of cold mornings to begin coming up here pretty quickly. So the wind chill temperature doesn't necessarily represent the issue there. That's when you get exposed skin and the cold that goes along with that, as we are definitely going to feel extra chilly out there for early Thursday morning and a few more mornings there going ahead. Good morning to everyone. Karen, Valerie there, Debbie mentioning light snow Thursday there in Mabin. No, that's not going to happen. Sipsey Wilderness, it's going to be cold, but maybe a flake. And even then, that's probably overdoing it, because as you can see here, there's just not much out there. We go to dry air very quickly, and that's kind of the setup where we don't really see anything of major significance. When we see major snows or real legitimate snows, they kind of come out of the southwest, kind of moving into and through our area. So again, keeping it mostly dry and clear into your Thursday, and those cold winds, they definitely continue to dominate here. A little clipper system up to the north, that will keep any wintry stuff, again, a sign of just how cold it is up there, but that'll keep all that wintry stuff up north. So these are high temperatures on Thursday, which are colder in some cases than low temperatures tomorrow. Chilly, right? Really cold out there for the first part of early morning again on your Thursday. 41 degrees in Bruce and Houston, going 42 Belzona for Greenwood there, 38 Senatobia, Oxford, and 39 degrees. That's all we make it up to for a high temperature there in New Albany, 36 in Iuka. Low temperatures Friday, again down in the low 20s. And anytime we're kind of below 25 and we're there for an extended period of time, we just want to make sure all those spigots outside are covered up. And maybe, when we get down there closer to 20, that we keep a little drip going on those faucets and the cabinet doors open beneath there so the air can circulate in. We'll have a number of those cold mornings ahead, one of the colder streaks we've had so far this year. And then looking at future wind chill there, that goes all the way through the next couple of days. Let's go ahead and stop that here for a moment, and I'm going to kind of analyze that. I'm going to go manually through some of these. So again, Friday, I wanted to show you that by midday Friday, we're still dealing with wind chills that are only in the mid-40s there. That's slightly more manageable than Thursday, but as you can see, we quickly drop those temperatures back down into early Saturday morning, with wind chill temperatures Saturday morning down into the mid-20s. Manageable, more manageable than the coldest of the wind chills, which will be early Thursday morning, but we have even colder weather ahead of that, because again, Saturday we have kind of another front that'll move toward us. So yeah, if you're noticing here, we show afternoon temperature still only the mid-30s to maybe some lower 40s out there for your Saturday. And then early Sunday morning, yeah, we're back into the teens for wind chills. So it is the colder air, the colder temperatures, that's what dominates once again over the course of the next couple of days here. As we check out that 7-day forecast, we're at around 60% for that rain coverage on your 60%. Man. Brain will turn on here in a minute, I promise. 60 degrees, the temperature today. 30% for the rain coverage on your Wednesday. That front moving into the area, kind of transitioning into a full-blown cold front overhead. And so that 52, a lot of spots don't ever even make it that's quite as warm as that. We're 24 for Thursday morning, 23 for Friday. As you look forward, beyond really Wednesday, every day is mid-20s. Okay, we have the exception of Saturday, upper 20s, but below freezing to begin the day. And still fairly chilly looking over the course of that period in time. Let's bring that chat back up here, kind of check and see how everyone's doing this morning. Again, appreciate everyone for joining us here. Kids want a snow day, according to Joseph. I don't think we have that coming here. You don't see anything that resembles that, because honestly, behind this storm system, as the colder air is coming in, while a flake is not impossible to the north and west, accumulating snowfall, that's just not going to happen. That's not the setup where we typically get it. So here's hoping for some folks out there. Bubba Fisher, loud. Those tears on that emoji might freeze because it's cold. Definitely heading that way. And again, appreciate Brenda there. Again, one of our mega fans here for mentioning. Thank goodness for the folks at Absolute Restoration there for helping us out. Any moisture for Saturday? Not a lot. We will look at kind of the nitty-gritty on that, I think, coming up here during our 7 o'clock broadcast, but not a lot out there to show. That's why we kind of left it off But we're not 100% on that because with that next front coming in, I think this first one does a great job of driving all the moisture down into the Gulf, and it's hard for that to return. One of the many reasons why we're not going to see severe weather as that comes into and through the area. Our next live broadcast, again, you can join the conversation there as well. 7 a.m. coming up at 7. We are going to take a little look at the accumulating snowfall over the next week because, yes, we did have some blue on the map there, and then talk the reality of it. But if you can't make it at 7, here's the easy hint. We're probably not seeing anything. But if you just have to know, we'll be tracking that here in the Room to Room Weather Center coming up at 7 a.m. We'd love for you to join us here. And thank you so much for supporting us and liking us and subscribing to everything we do here on Mississippi Live Weather. Certainly makes a difference. And we appreciate y'all so much. See you come up at 7.
Growing up, Gabe was naturally curious when he began to discover weather. Gabe just didn't want to know what was happening, but he wanted to know why it was happening. Gabe became fascinated with tornadoes and it impacted his life. He wanted to pursue a career in meteorology. Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.